Oh, yes.
Look at you with your Coca-Cola. Pepsi's where it's at, Pandy.
That's one opinion.
Specifically. Wait, is that the right word?
Yeah, specifically, not Pacifically. Pacific is an ocean.
Pacifically isn't anything.
No.
Unless it's someone called Pacific Lee.
Yeah, and that would just be a very unfortunate name.
Okay,
Oh, very good name.
Pepsi's where it's at, especially. Yeah, that's a good word. Pepsi Max. Actually, especially cherry Pepsi Max.
What about Cherry Coke?
Cherry Pepsi Max is nicer.
I disagree.
I disagree with your disagreement.
I disagree with your face.
I do generally think Pepsi is the superior
Yeah.
cola.
You're the inferior one on this table.
However, that is based on
Personal preference?
personal preference in what is available to us in the United Kingdom.
Yeah, well, yeah, because...
Why, you're saying that Pepsi and Coke will taste different in America?
Well, that's the kind of funny guys say there's different ways of making the Cokes. Like, what do they say? In the Midwest, it's made differently to how
Yeah.
they get it.
Yeah.
And then again,
I
have
need
you
to...
ever had Coke from a takeout and it's like got Arabic writing on it?
Like RC Cola.
No,
But
to be honest.
have you ever had it, Dan?
I don't think so, no.
What sort of takeouts are you going to?
I've had things like that from Lidl.
Well, to be fair, like a lot of the people who run these takeouts are like of Arab origin, I guess.
Arab origin.
Yeah, but surely they don't import Coke from a country.
Well, if it's cheaper, yeah.
It wouldn't be that much cheaper, would it?
I don't know. I've never asked.
But I always felt like
Oh, 'cause I just hadn't finished making my point yet.
oh, go on, sorry, go on.
No, but it's also like you can get like
Yes, Dan, don't interrupt Andy.
no, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
It paused for quite a while.
I was gathering my thoughts. But the as well as like Arab, I don't want to call it Arab Coke, but it basically is. I've also had like ones with like Polish writing or some kind of Eastern European writing on it, and I can tell you now that those two different kind of Cokes taste different to the English Coke. Like you can distinctly tell that it's not the same as the Coke we get here in the UK. It's not bad. It just tastes very differently.
Yeah.
Differently in a bad way or a good way?
Just in a different way. It's kind of hard to say. It's like not bad, but you can. It's like it almost tastes like it's not actually Coke. But I think that's because I'm so used to the taste of our Coke.
Yeah.
Any other one tastes weird by comparison.
I guess.
I'll have to see if I can get hold of some.
Yeah, I'm really scared to these takeouts which you're going to. I don't know which one you're going to.
I'm just getting some from, like
If you went to a takeout and someone gave you cola in a different language, you would send it back.
Probably would actually, yeah.
to the country of origin. Get the people.
I'd
that
say,
bought it.
I don't want fake Coke, thank you very much.
That's the thing. It's not fake. It's like the Haribo that we used to buy wasn't fake. It was just from a pound shop.
I'm pretty sure that Haribo which we used to buy from pound shops was the discarded, like, stuff which didn't make the final cut, or whatever you call it.
I know it seems like
You know
a,
what I
a
mean,
silly
right?
thing, but I generally, we used to buy it from B&M and Woolworths. Woolworths tasted much nicer. It had a bit more flavour to it. It was much fizzier. If you got it from B&M, it was a bit stale and just a bit like it'd been in the back for a bit too long.
Yeah, so me saying it's fake was kind of true.
Well, not really. It was still real stuff. It was just
Yeah,
different.
Discarded.
it was just a lesser quality product.
Mm-hmm.
That's all.
But I always thought that like
Was it even that much cheaper though from a pound shop?
Not really.
it was a bit cheaper. The worst was when it was buy one get one free and you refused to buy it on the standard that you didn't want a free one. And Ben was like, "I'll have it. I'll have the free one." And you're like, "I don't want to." but it's free. Buy one and get
you
one
refused
free.
to have a free drink?
No, it was a free Haribo.
All right. Why
And
didn't
you
want
you were
the
stood
free
there for ages,
Haribo?
just going like, I don't really want. I don't want to though. I can't remember quite how that ended, but I almost feel like you just bought one.
So basically, it could be like, if I buy this for me, then I can get a free one for you.
Yes.
But he was just like, no, it seems like a waste of money to get something for free.
Yes.
You're so weird.
I'm weird.
You are.
I would have gone halves and we would have had like a bag for 50p each.
Yeah.
But you didn't do that, though, from the sounds of it.
Wait, are you saying I did this or Andy did this?
Andy did this.
Yeah.
I did
You
it.
did this.
I did?
You did.
I thought it was Rod.
That's what I
No.
was saying you were
Sounds
weird.
like
And I was like, wait, what are you talking to me
Rod
for?
would have 2 bags of sweets for himself.
It sounds like a Rod thing.
No, you refused to get the free bag of sweets. Yeah,
Huh. That is weird.
it is in Woolworths, and you're just like, I don't want the other one.
What the hell was wrong with me?
I don't know.
Hmm.
Don't know.
Maybe you were going through a weird diet phase or something.
What, back then? You did remember what I was like back then, right?
Yeah.
I would likely eat your leg if you was sat long enough.
Do you genuinely feel that it's possible? Like,
Would you eat my leg now?
Not now. No, I'm not a cannibal.
Would you eat my leg if we were stranded on a desert island?
as
If we're stranded on a desert island and you was my only source of food, then yes, I would likely kill you, and I think I would. I think I would likely come out on top in a struggle between the two of us.
Probably, yeah.
So yeah,
I'm a lover, not a fighter.
I don't want any loving on the island.
have you found that you're no longer a cannibal, but prior to exercising, you feel like you're a borderline cannibal?
It's a high possibility that I was. I'm not gonna lie.
We like that guy in Florida who was eating that guy's face.
Oh, you mean the guy in the bath salts?
Yeah, him.
No, I was a bit more like the German guy.
German guy?
Can I remember there was that?
The one that advertised for it.
Yeah, there was
Yeah.
that news. Well, he didn't advertise. There was a guy who advertised himself to be eaten alive
All right.
for some reason. And then, did you not hear this?
That was a
No.
bad day at work, wasn't it?
Yeah, this guy. I think it was on Craigslist. He posted an advert for somebody to eat him, and then like this guy, and then he could watch himself being eaten.
That's so weird.
Yeah, it is very weird. It was this German guy. I can't remember the name of him. But he did get arrested and prosecuted. Because at the end of the day, even if it's cannibalism by consent, it's still against the law, I guess.
Yeah.
So he wasn't eating then?
No, he was. He was
Oh, he
killed.
was
He was
eaten.
killed and eaten.
Who would ever pay to do that?
Although I don't know if he paid for it.
Right.
I think it was more of a, hey, I want to be eaten alive. Somebody wanted. I don't know. People are weird. People are really weird. So there's some really
That's
really
weird.
strange people in this world, and I
Yes.
don't get it.
They're the German.
And I clearly am one of them for not buying 2 packs of Haribo, getting one for free.
Yeah.
Granted, it's different levels. One's a cannibal, and I just didn't want free sweets.
It's a thin line.
Yeah, very thin line.
Maybe he just didn't want to give something to Ben.
I do feel that could have been partially.
He was a bit of a moocher.
Yeah.
But then again, I feel like Rod's a bit of a moocher now.
I am not.
Rod's 40 pence input on buying food.
Yeah. I
You
like,
had-
if you think about it, right, I contributed £10, you contributed a fiver, Rod contributed 40p, and yet he was still making us do all the work.
Also, technically,
I served the dinner. What the hell did he do? Put it in the microwave? That's not all.
Well,
the work.
I also served up the dough balls. They didn't.
Because I was doing something else at the time.
you were like, Andy, do the dough balls.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I was doing something at the time, right?
No,
You were busy bossing Andy around to do the dough balls.
pretty much what Dan said. He
I'm
was.
pretty sure I was doing something at the time.
I think he was probably playing with the dog.
I think he gets Heather to do that.
Or play with the dog.
Yeah.
Maybe,
That's
yeah.
true.
I can't actually remember you doing anything.
But yeah, it was like, you know, we basically bought dinner. I mean, your 40p was greatly appreciated.
So I'm down about £4.40.
Unfortunately,
Yeah.
That's good math
You're
right
da-
there. You can't complain
Well,
about
you say you're down that much. I think I'm down about 30 quid.
that. No.
Well, the last week I contributed a tenner to the takeout that we had.
What Dan pay for that?
No,
no, we both put 10 in.
we
each.
did.
Oh, right.
And then before that, when we
Hey,
met,
wait a minute. Didn't you say, since you and Heather bought dinner last time, I'll pay for you, Rod? Yeah. Caught you out there, Spaniel. Yeah, see.
but then the week before that, when we first met up at Dan's house to like even discuss doing this kind of stuff, when we got the Chinese, I put another tenner in towards
Yeah.
the overall pot for that.
I think we
as
paid
well.
for that too. Yeah.
Yeah. So
go on.
I was going to say, so far you owe me 2 meals.
Today,
I think you're right.
my input, I think, just about covers the things I bought for personal use. In which case, you bought dinner.
Right, so dinner was on me. Not literally.
And
that would have been a bit strange.
You also bought a microphone and a pop filter and a stand.
And I'm not using it.
You're using a pop filter. So that was £6.
I bought 2 stands, which one is coming in hand. Reese, right?
Well, yeah,
Yeah,
it's
see.
currently holding up my phone that we're using to record this or film it.
So I'm not completely
HTC.
useless.
1M8.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll tweet the video to them so they can show off their old phone and its brilliant quality and awesome creative use.
What?
For then we can get sent free phones that Rod can boil in Pepsi.
Ah. What was the term you used? It wasn't just
Melted Pepsi.
Melted Pepsi.
Melted Pepsi.
Melted Pepsi, boys and girls.
I thought I was being smart at that point.
And that's when some more of my brain cells died.
Unfortunately, it wasn't recording at that point.
Oh,
To be fair, I did edit out my burps from last week's show.
Did you?
It was a bit inappropriate, and I think you gave me a bit of a.
I guess so.
Yeah.
And then looking back on it, it's like, yeah, you should maybe
I do seem a bit crude.
refrain from doing it.
Maybe. Try and hold it in.
I burped.
Yeah.
It's really hard to
I
drink
know.
Pepsi
Okay.
and not burp. Have you ever found that?
No.
I do find that pop makes me burp. Yeah.
Yeah.
However, maybe not directly in the microphone.
And if you try and like hold it in, it makes it even worse, and you try and
it just comes out the other end. Welcome to Mr. Point. We registered this. This is Mr. Point, not MIST. I hope you enjoyed last week's show. No one's actually watched it yet but me. I watched the first part, and I liked it. 46 minutes of us talking about how we came up with the name. And then a very short amount of time for our actual topics, which you might actually correct, but we figured that if you want to go back in it and look at how we did our first show, that'd be quite a good way to start.
Yeah. I agree.
I also agree. So I'm sure you've actually seen part of the show by now, because I'm going to keep in the random discussions that we had prior of how Pepsi...
I was starting to wonder why you were doing the welcomes like half an hour into it.
It's not half an hour, it's about 20 minutes, which is much better than last time when it was an hour and something.
But don't
Right,
you
okay.
agree that it just kind of flowed a bit better that we were just having a general conversation first and
Perhaps.
Yeah, rather than put anyone else on point, just find a good opportunity
just to warm up
to jump.
the old vocal cords.
So we just pretty much sit here and we're just going to talk. There's no real format to it. There's no real kind of schedule to it. I figure we'll probably find that route as we go along and take it from there. So I don't know if anyone wants to just...
So how's your week been, Spaniel?
editing last week's show, pretty much.
That's all you done, is it?
Yeah. Mostly
Sounds fun.
converting it
From what?
from a larger file to a smaller file.
No.
And also from a very controversial show to a more
PC.
PC friendly one.
Yeah, see? And you thought I was stupid for thinking it should be like that.
I don't know if stupid was the word.
Well, to be fair, what was kind of said, and I'm not going to repeat it, but it was. I mean, we know it was a joke and it wasn't meant that way, but I suppose some people could take it out of context and find it offensive without knowing the kind of person you actually are.
This is...
Our
Thank
Ted-
you.
That just made you sound worse than what I was actually trying to get across.
And we're back.
our 10 viewers who are all me are probably going to say, keep that bit in, I want to see what it was.
Did you say 10 viewers?
Yeah.
So we've dropped 7 in the week. Even you're lost in interest. Screw this show.
7 of me lost interest.
Has anyone... it's not actually been a week yet, has it? It's been 6 days.
Yeah, because we filmed the last one last Saturday.
Yes.
Which, what date are we on today? Is it the 18th?
It's the 18th today.
So that would have been the 10th.
No.
No?
The
12th?
12th. 13th. 14th. Yeah, 12th.
I suck at math.
Apart from when it comes to buying things, then you spending money on it.
Yeah, I seem to work that out all right.
You did.
it's usually just, don't worry, I'll put the most money to it.
We each put this in. Well, I've only got 70p. So. And he paid.
I used to be the one who would like buy most of the stuff,
For yourself.
and I used to drive you two around. Don't forget that.
I also did pay your petrol sometimes.
I didn't.
You did?
Yeah, but only if you went like anywhere specifically for that purpose. I think if we ever went to the cinema or something, I think I usually paid for the cinema, and you paid for it. Not always, but I can't remember. It's been a while.
I don't know.
When we
Then
went
again-
to Nottingham, I paid for petrol.
Then again,
Oh yeah, you did that. Yeah.
didn't you usually have Orange Wednesdays?
Yes.
I don't think it was Wednesdays we met up normally though. Was it?
It drifted around.
It was a lot easier back then when none of us had jobs and was at college.
Aside when it came for paying things, and it was just Rod, because Rod didn't have a job.
Well, he's got rich parents.
I think that's a job.
Yeah. And he spent all his money on cats.
It is actually depressing when you think that like my responsibilities aren't really that high, but you know I'm 28, I work full time, I have my own house, but like last few years, or quite a lot of years, I've not really been a gamer as much anymore as I used to play games all the time.
Which means that I'm going to be doing all the gaming talk.
That's because you don't have a job and you sit at home all day.
Metal Gear Solid 5 sucks. That's my gaming advice right there. Do not play it.
I don't think you. No, never mind.
What? You don't think I'm what?
I don't
Qualified
think-
to discuss games?
It clearly doesn't suck. I think
I disagree. It sucks.
lots of people enjoy playing it from a playing it perspective.
I think what Dan's trying
I think gameplay wise it's good. Otherwise it's
but
no good.
I think that me and Dan was discussing this earlier on while you was upstairs. I feel like you're judging this game far quicker than you should be. So I've seen the missions you're up to, and you're judging it based on that. Whereas I was saying to Dan, if you've got to the points where I am, you would certainly see that there is a story there. It's just
It's like
it just takes a while to get into. I mean, I don't want to be like. You see, this is what was discussed on Kind of Funny. Yeah, I'm plugging that show kind of a little bit. Where there was sort of saying that Metal Gear Solid 4, the gameplay was kind of more story-led. Like, the gameplay was just there to sort of move the story along. Whereas in MGS 5, the gameplay is actually there just purely for the gameplay experience. I mean, there is a story there, but it's just not, boom, there it is in your face. You know, it gives you enough. It's like, well, I suppose Peace Walker was kind of somewhat the same way. I mean, there was like little cutscenes here and there.
Yeah, but even in the old ones with like Snake Eater and things, there's like a cutscene every.
But you see that I don't
know, 10 minutes.
I think it was only a year ago I was playing the MGS 3 HD collection, or the Metal Gear HD collection on PS3, and I was playing Metal Gear Solid 3. And don't get me wrong, loved that game. It was one of my favourite games until MGS 5. But the fact is that you spend the first 40. I haven't fully timed it, but I'm going to just throw and say you spend the first 45 minutes like you're on the plane, you've got Major Zero or Major Tom talking to you, telling you about the Cold War and everything. You got some nice little video footage of like stuff going on from that time period, and then you do your Halo jump, and then you land, and then he's like, "Oh, your backpack's in that tree." Like, this is after another codec call. It's like, your backpack's in that tree, go get it. And you think, finally, get to play this game. So you climb the tree, get your backpack, and as soon as you jump down, codec call. And you're in that for like half an hour.
I do think that before there was a bit too many codec calls, yeah.
But even in Metal Gear Solid, the first one, when you first find the Darba Chief and he's talking to you in the cell, that goes on for a long time.
Yeah.
And it cuts to load war history and nuclear this, and it's just like, a little bit bored.
That's the thing, I think Kojima, I think MGS 5 was kind of a reaction to a lot of criticism that was sort of brought about MGS 4, where people thought that the story was just too heavy-handed.
Yeah.
And let's be honest with you, a lot of it made no sense. pretty much boil it down to nanomachines. That's all I took away from that. I've played through MGS4 so many times. I've played through. Fair enough. I've only played through MGS3 like a handful of times, but to me that's the more simpler story than some of the other stuff. And then it's like MGS4 and MGS2. I still struggle to. I know the Patriots are AI and stuff, and it's like I still don't get what it's all about. And Lally Lulelo, and it's like what? Solidus is a clone of spoilers of Big Boss, and
it's a bit convoluted, isn't it?
It's extremely, and that's why it's like okay, MGS5 has a story. It's supposed to be sort of tying how Big Boss went from being the hero he started out being in MGS3 to how he then became the leader of Outer Heaven, and sort of like this really evil. I mean, because I've never played the original Metal Gear 1 and 2 on the MSX, but as far as what I'm aware, it's like Big Boss is a bit of a shithead, and Snake sort of takes him out, and it's like, but these games sort of portray him as a kind of a very misunderstood character.
Yeah.
And that it wasn't his fault that he became who he became. I don't know. That's just my take of it. I haven't finished MGS5 yet, so I don't really know the full story behind it. But
I was going to say I've got theories on that, but I'm not enough into the game to really speak on it. Well, all I'm going to say though, in terms of MGS5, is that the story of what Big Boss is doing is he is building his army, and that's what MGS5 kind of is. So the gameplay, I guess, is reflecting that aspect of that story.
Yeah.
But in terms of going back to different Metal Gear Solids, all of them are very, very different games. They've never ever captured what they did in Metal Gear Solid, the original one. MGS2 is its closest relative, but it's a completely different game, completely different atmosphere. MGS3 is completely different again, completely different set of gameplay mechanics. MGS4 is completely different again. MGS5 is completely different again.
Which one would you say is the best?
You've missed a point there.
What? No, I mean, out of all of them, which one's your favourite? You must have a favourite out of all.
I was going to say, it's hard to say which one's the best because that's kind of a subjective opinion.
Okay, which one is your personal favourite then?
So,
I'd like to say 5 because it's the newest one.
I'm not saying 5 because it's the newest one. I'm saying I can't really say that I've played enough of 5 to judge it as my favourite game. I'd have to actually fully complete it before I can definitively say whether I like, it's my favourite of the series. But as it stands right now, I mean, I know MGS1 pioneered like that set of games, but my favourite is MGS3.
I agree.
Purely because it's, well, when I say MGS3, there's a specific version of MGS3 I like, and that's the Subsistence one, because it gives you that 3D camera. I couldn't really get on with the just being able to move it like in 4 directions and not being able to see what's around you.
Yeah.
But
I never even realised that until you mentioned that the other day. That you couldn't turn a camera completely around.
Yeah, because for me, I'd tried playing 3 before. I didn't get on with it. Then I played MGS4, and that gave you a fully 3D rotational camera. And then I tried going back to 3, and it's kind of hard to unlearn the mechanics you used in 4 to play 3. But with the Subsistence version being, controlling almost the same as 4, in a way, I just felt like that was the easier version to play.
Yeah.
So, to me, MGS3 is so far my favourite game, but I do have a feeling that MGS5 is going to be my favourite.
I don't think it will be, because I know how it ends, and I just don't see it happening.
What about you, Dan?
Well, my point before was that Rod was criticising MGS5 for being a completely different kind of game. But my point is that they all are kind of completely different from each other.
My biggest issue with the fifth one is how it's basically enter a helicopter, select a mission, do a mission, enter a helicopter, select a mission, do a mission, enter a helicopter, do a mission, select a mission.
I understand. Yeah.
Same thing over and over and over again. There's no story. Snake barely ever talks. Even when he does talk, it doesn't sound right. The characters which you do know but don't really see themselves. I just don't think it's that good. Gameplay wise, it's really good. If they gave the same gameplay to the previous games, they'd be miles better than the fifth one is.
I'm not gonna say any spoilers here because I know you haven't really had a chance to sit down and play the game. But what Rod's saying about that is, I was completely surprised. I was on my way to do a side op, and then something else cropped up in the middle of it doing it, and basically what happened, let's just say it harkens back to one of the older games in the series, and it was like a complete surprise to me. I wasn't expecting it to happen whatsoever. And I was just like, Jesus Christ, this is awesome. I was no way expecting this, and I'm kind of glad it happened, because again, it was just so out of the blue for me. I mean, I guess I kind of know what's going to happen from now on, and it won't, but I think it's that initial surprise of playing the game. And then it's like, yeah, this is pretty awesome. And the fact that what happens, it's kind of, like I said, harkening back to one of the older games. You'll know what I'm talking about when you get to that point in the game. It was just so freaking awesome, basically. And again, like, you haven't experienced that yet. And that's why I'm just saying.
I haven't experienced that particular part yet, no, but I don't think even that would redeem it to me.
But you don't know unless you experience it.
Just for the record, you also hate MGS 2.
I do, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't hate the tanker mission. The tanker mission's brilliant. Raiden's part, absolutely awful.
Why? What's wrong with Raiden's part?
Just don't like Raiden at all.
That's the only reason.
Pretty much, yeah.
A lot of people have that problem, though, don't they?
I know a lot of people have that problem, but
I just say I never had any attachment to the character. I never enjoyed playing as a character. Which is, I think, what didn't they re-release the game but playing as Snake the entire game?
no, they sorry, go on.
No, you can say.
Like I say, they did a MGS2 Substance where you had like little side missions where you played as Snake,
Yeah.
and that was basically it. Like, what was it, Snake Tales or something like that?
I think in Substance you can also change the actual character.
Can you?
So you are playing exactly the same game, so it is theoretically Raiden, but you
Yeah.
can look like Snake or Grey Fox or
Yeah.
Olga, I think, as well.
Because Metal Gear to me is Snake or Big Boss. And to play as a completely different character is just a different game for me.
You see, I was reading a theory online as to why they brought in a new character for MGS2, and it was basically saying, like, because I know you had the tanker mission to begin with where he was playing as Snake, but the rationale that they was using was you play as Raiden because he's like, isn't he like a newly sort of trained person for Foxhound? And basically saying, well, you know, you're like kind of learning the mechanics again of the game, and it's like, wouldn't it be really weird if you was playing a Solid Snake who's supposed to be a seasoned veteran, and you're being told by the Colonel how to be?
Yeah.
It's like, you really wouldn't expect that, you know.
MGS is obviously synonymous with doing something a bit different and sort of groundbreaking. At the time, switching the character to Raiden was a huge deal that they kept under wraps.
Yeah.
So when you play that game, that's still, whether you like it or not, is a good thing. And the thing I loved about MGS2 was that, obviously, I prefer Snake to Raiden. I like Raiden a lot, but you learn more about Snake through Raiden.
That's true.
Plus the idea that you work with Snake, you're working with this guy that you sort of idolize, and he's there and he's helping you out. And I think I really like that.
The whole Raiden character is ridiculous, though.
He got ridiculous in MGS4 when he became a break-dancing robot ninja.
Exactly, yeah.
The problem is that people, they tried to make Raiden, they pretty much tried to make him Leonardo DiCaprio, really, didn't they? I mean,
kind of.
His girlfriend's called Rose, it's on the boat.
Yeah,
I suppose so.
And in the MGS2 making of DVD, I think they're talking about that they gave him girl's eyes to try and make a bit more sort of pretty boy and appealing. And
didn't they also like give him like wider hips?
I can't quite remember, but
I'm sure they gave him a more feminine frame as well.
Yeah.
But anyway,
rather. So yeah, that's why I don't like the second one anyway. I just don't like the character at all.
The problem was that people backlashed against it so much that in MGS3 they make fun of it.
Yeah.
And I personally don't like that. I think that's I think it's Kojima's bad decision.
No, I kind of like the trolling in that. I was like, have you played MGS2 before? Yes. And then like the opening cutscene, you've got like Raiden's face, and you think, oh.
I like that, but when you meet is it Rykov later on?
Yeah,
and that's
gay.
just
he kind of like mocks
Russian
it.
Yeah, that's just taking the mick. That's like we don't really care about him either. Look at this. And
but then in MGS, I mean, fair enough. I mock him for being a breakdancing robot ninja, but he does have some pretty badass moments that game.
Yeah, but then I feel like they try to redeem him, and it's kind of like
over the top.
That sort of it made what Raiden was worse, and I think they tried to make him appeal to a set to a set people like, oh, he's kind of cool now, and I think that just kind of makes people hate him more.
I guess so.
To me, it's kind of like people hated Raiden as he was, so tried to make him like what's his name from the first one?
Grey Fox.
Yeah, I was gonna say Grey Fox. Yeah, Grey Fox.
Yeah. But when you first meet Raiden in MGS4 and he's stood on top of the building with the coat on, that's cool.
My favorite. I mean, it was a bit like ridiculous in MGS4. I mean, I don't know why we've turned this into an MGS episode, but
I'm sorry.
It's, in MGS4 when you've just finished the spoilers fight with Liquid, where he's in Metal Gear Ray and you're in Rex, and then Outer Haven is like going to crash ashore on Shadow Moses, and Raiden stops it with his own body.
Yeah.
A massive ship. That's a little bit.
And then he turns up in the end. He's got no arms and he's fighting with the sword in his mouth.
Yeah, but then though, when he shows up there and like electricity is like shooting
the
down.
Picture-in-picture thing.
Yeah, and he's like, "I am." What was his quote?
I am the lightning in that rain.
Yeah, I am like lightning and rain, thunder reborn, or something like that. Yeah. I just thought that's badass. Cheesy quote, but I was just like, I like him.
But that was a cool moment though, when Snake's crawling through and he's getting electrocuted, and in the corner Raiden still fighting everyone off.
I love that. I showed somebody because they've not played MGS4 before, so I'd like link them to a YouTube video of that particular scene, like where you're actually in control of Snake crawling through the microwave corridor, and like you've got the cutscene happening. And when you was doing that, was you like at the end? Was you like furiously tap mashing? And you're like, "Come on, Snake, get there! You have to save everyone!" And then like he just faints at the end, and it's like, did I do it?
I wonder if in like how long has it been since 4 came out?
2008.
Yeah, I wonder if in 7 years we'll be having this sort of discussion about a 5th one.
I don't. Maybe.
I highly doubt it.
The thing is though, that the 5th one it's its own complete different thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's like the thing is, it's like with MGS4, it's a very set story, so everybody's going to experience like the same thing. I mean, fair enough, how you get to those parts in the story might differ. Like you, from what I've heard, just run and gun everyone down. Whereas
I kind of play it like Call of Duty. Yeah.
Whereas the way I play it, and I'm assuming Dan does as well, is we try to be as stealthy as possible and take everyone out non-lethally.
Mm-hmm.
Mainly because the benefits you get at the end of the game, like the stealth bandana.
That's just always been the main gameplay factor of MGS.
You don't.
Stealth.
Yeah, you stealth.
That's kind of the whole point.
Yeah.
I played the first one and it's like stealthy because I liked it when you could see have a map on your screen and it had like the view thing of the enemies.
But
that also just makes it easier.
But
it's fun doing that when you sit around the view thing.
The point I'm trying to make though is like everybody's experience in MGS4 is 90% going to be the same thing, whereas in MGS5, I'm sure I've done things in that game that nobody else has experienced. It's like the story I was telling you earlier on with the bear. How many other people have done that? And it ended up the exact same way I did. And I'll tell the story just for the benefit of anybody who's watching this, like Rod 17 times.
It's 10 times this week.
Oh yeah, he's got bored of us. But I saw that because I was told that we need to start rescuing animals from Afghanistan to send them back to Mother Base. So I'd already sent a few sheep back, and then I think it was like mission 4 or 5. I just started it from a side up, and I got on my horse and I was just riding along to like the mission marker, and I saw a brown bear just there on a hill. I was like, "Ooh, that'll be fun to try and capture." I thought it was going to be super easy because I thought, yeah, trank it in the head, it's going to fall asleep, Fulton recover it, and that's going to be that back to base. What actually happened was I tranked it in the head. It got very angry with me. It kind of just went, "Brr." And then started charging me, and I was just like, it was one of those moments where you're like, crap. And so I just kind of like crouched down and hid behind like this rock, and then the bear was like stood on top of the rock and like looking for me, and I was just like crouching like round the side of it, and then I think the bear spotted me, and it came off the rock and it started following me around. So I started walking around it, and the bear was following me, and then it changed its direction to go that way, and I was like, crap, I'm just going to be here all day doing this. And then my own fault was I pushed the thumbstick too much up, and Snake kind of hopped on top of the rock, and then the bear was like, there you are. And I was like, crap. And so I started running away. I started running uphill first because I thought bears have short legs and they're not going to be able to run uphill fast enough. And then I remembered it was a game and not real life. So I decided to change direction as it was catching up to me and run downhill. And then the bear was pretty much on my heels, and the game just went, press square now! Like, there was an exclamation mark popped up on the screen with the square button, so I pressed it thinking something awesome was going to happen, like Snake was going to do some kind of CQC takedown of a grizzly bear. But what actually happened was he dived on the ground and went prone, and then the bear just kind of went, meh, and killed me. And that's just an experience I had with the game, and it was that point in the game where I just felt that this is an amazing game.
Why didn't you just pull out a machine gun and gun it down?
Because I wanted to capture it. And by that point, all rational thought had left my mind because I didn't want to be killed by the bear, which kind of ended up with me being killed by the bear.
In terms of any kind of negativity for MGS V, I've not played a lot of it. Obviously, Metal Gear is my favourite game series of all time.
I'm pretty sure you'll agree with me when you played it completely. I'm like 99.99999999999% sure that you'll say, well, that's crap.
I don't think I'll say it was crap, but I think I know where you're going to get with it. But my point is that, like, I know this is Big Boss, I know that's Kaz, I know that's Ocelot, and I know it's all Metal Gear theories and legacy and all that. And then you listen to the radio cassettes and it's talking about the stuff that Metal Gear is, but it doesn't feel like Metal Gear. That's all I'll say about it. It's like I know it's Metal Gear, but the actual story side of it and the character side of it, it doesn't feel it's got the same sort of spirit behind it.
I don't even like the cassettes. I just completely ignore them, which I know I shouldn't do, but I just find them boring.
See, with me, it's like because obviously I work like 5 days a week, and if I've just finished a mission and it's like 10:30 at night, just before I go to bed, I'll probably just sit and listen to like 2 or 3 of the cassettes. And that'll do me. It's kind of a fun way to like end some missions like you've just done, and just to wind down a little bit.
To me, it's kind of like they were like, we've completed a game, but it's kind of lacking story. And then somebody was like, it's okay, just put it on cassette, so they won't know the difference.
But then again, how many games have like been told through audio? It's like Dead Space. You've got zero context as to what's going on, and you find most of the story out through audio logs and video logs.
It's a different way of presenting it. It makes it very 80s because it's a Walkman.
Yeah.
And it's basically cutting out what people don't like about the codec calls and making it optional.
Yeah.
That's essentially all it is.
I mean, for the diehard MGS fans, the story's there. You just have to actively go and listen to it. You don't get it spoon-fed to you. Which again I can see why Kojima did it, because that's why he faced a lot of criticism about how the story was handled.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got no problem with sitting there and watching a cutscene, but again, like I said to you the other day, I just don't have the time to sit there and watch an hour and a half cutscene when what I really want to do is just play the game.
What I thought they would have done is just narrowed it down a bit, not completely remove them.
Well, they have.
Yeah, but they're not.
Again, you've not got to the same point of the game I have.
Yeah, but I've played up to like mission 13.
You haven't.
I have.
No, you haven't.
I'm pretty sure it's episode. Not episode.
You're not
mission 12 or 13.
No, you're not.
What am I on?
I'm on mission. I've just done mission 12. You're on mission. You've just done mission 6. So you haven't even done half of what I've done yet.
I'm pretty sure it's 12 missions.
No, I looked at your mission log today, and you certainly are nowhere near where I am.
Well, even if it's 6, the only sort of cutscenes which we've seen so far is right at the very beginning.
But that is also in context with the story.
Yeah, but then it does
Boss
the whole
learning to be Big Boss and rebuild his army. That's kind of
yeah,
what
but then it
this
does a
part of
whole
the game is.
Yeah.
like the whole repetitive do exactly the same thing, but in slightly different locations where the scenery is exactly the same and
Yeah, but that's the thing.
camps are exactly the same.
You're rebuilding your. I'm sure. Like the game says, you need to rebuild your private army.
Yeah.
But then you also do you get a request to like help the Afghan locals like fight against the Soviets?
I'm not sure yet.
And that's why you're in Afghanistan, because it's like, well, first of all, you go into Afghanistan because have you just literally done the first mission? Have you done the Phantom Limbs mission, where you rescue Miller?
Yes.
So, because that's the entire reason you originally go into Afghanistan, don't you? And I'm sure when you rescue Miller, he's like, yeah, they need our help.
We need to build it back.
Yeah, and that's literally why you're there. It's like, because when you do play as Solid Snake in the first Metal Gear, Big Boss already has his army. So it's like, this is you somewhat building that army that you went up against.
If I was in charge of Metal Gear, what I would have done is have the whole going off to try and capture people as a side missions, and then have a somewhat completely different mission or storyline, which is exactly the same as it was in the previous games. And then if you come across anybody who you're somewhat interested in, then you can capture them, but you still follow a storyline.
I don't know, I kind of disagree with that, because it's like, in Peace Walker, eventually your ultimate goal is to build your own Metal Gear.
Yeah.
Because you've not played Peace Walker. In Peace Walker, you fight against basically some robots, just to simplify it. You've got your Pupa, your Chrysalis, your Basilisk, and what's the other one?
I can't remember what they're called.
It's the Peace Walker one, and basically then like
the Peace Walker one's just Peace Walkers.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. And then like you're told to recover the AI cores. So basically in that game you redo all the main boss fights over and over again to get the AI parts from the core, and then you use those and any other parts to build Metal Gear Zeke. Because that's like basically the ultimate point of Big Boss's operation, is they have their own nuke to use as a deterrent against, they are their own independent sort of military operation with a nuke, and they can basically say to any other nation, don't be shitheads, we've got a nuke.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where it's going, because, well, you've played Ground Zeroes, they kind of lose Zeke.
Yeah.
They lose everything, and it's rebuilding that power again.
Yeah.
That's the whole point of MGS V. And I mean, I know, fair enough, you're saying it's a bit boring just going out on mission after mission after mission, but in those missions, like, you're recovering, like, people who are kind of, like, have special skills to, like, help you research and develop, like, new weapons and stuff. Which, again, is kind of like, because, Big Boss is supposed to have this, like, amazing army.
Yeah. I think the point is the gameplay is literally reflecting Big Boss doing what he would do. It's not going to be told through stories, it's told through
his actions.
Yeah, exactly.
To me, it's just very repetitive.
Because that's what Ocelot literally says. He's like, when he says, you're a legend to those who live on the battlefield. It's like, so because Snake does belong on the battlefield, that's why he usually goes on missions alone. But
to answer the early question, my favourite Metal Gear Solid game is Metal Gear Solid.
The first one. Did they ever remake that into
they made
graphics?
They remade it on the GameCube. Twin Snakes.
Oh yeah.
But I always find that
they never remade it into like modern day graphics, though, did they?
No.
It was running on the MGS2's engine, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
That was the best thing about the fourth when you revisited the original.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
But I feel the very first Metal Gear Solid is a completely different
experience.
Yeah, it's atmosphere. Just Shadow Moses from the get go is it's unnerving. It's sort of creepy. It's got the great blend of music and characters, and they've never just captured that back. It's always,
I suppose, in some ways, it's kind of like got a few psychological horror.
Yeah,
elements, it's with Psycho Mantis and stuff.
It's not a horror game, but it's borderline that kind of.
Yeah, but it is MGS related, but how brilliant though is Kojima for all of the stuff he's played in like the previous MGS. Like MGS One. The only way, really, to get the codec number for Meryl is off the back of the box. Who would have thought of that? It's like some of the stuff he does, and like he's put into his games, it's just genius to me.
Yeah.
It's like the whole Psycho Mantis boss fight. There will never be a better boss fight than Psycho. Fair enough, like the controls and stuff are like very outdated, but the fact that you had to
the actual thought put into it.
The fact that you had to plug your controller into the second port to fight him.
Yeah.
Otherwise, he just took control of you.
But it's like all the boss fights in that were
it was
really
pretty
well
cool
thought out,
how he read your memory stick as well.
Yeah.
But then like MGS2 is superior in its smaller details, because none of the Metal Gear Solid games have lived up to his amount of just stuff thrown in it under the surface than Metal Gear 2.
Can I just say though, is it
MGS2? Sorry.
Is it agreed upon though that Fat Man is literally the worst MGS boss ever? A fat guy on roller skates and a bomb protection jacket.
I was trying to think of one which is worse, but yeah, I think you're right.
I'm not a fan of Fat Men, but Colin Moriarty loves Fat Men.
Really?
Just so you might have offended him a little bit.
I don't care.
Who has that?
I think he's a ridiculous boss.
I think I just offended him even more so by saying who the hell's that.
But yeah.
Seriously, who is that?
It's from Kinda Funny.
Oh, okay.
But like you can find the magazines throughout MGS2 and all the weird posters and things of Japanese models. In the tanker bit, if you find the posters that are like stuck up on the walls, not like the big posters, just like the small A4 posters.
Yeah.
You shoot them, they explode. Why do they do that? Guards spot them if you do that. And then like the whole, I've never had more fun in Metal Gear than the opening tanker mission where you need to send photos.
Oh yeah.
To Ocelot. And the amount of
Otacon,
stupid Otacon, the amount of stupid things that I took photos of just to send to him, just to see what he would say.
Yeah.
And the fact that you could climb it when you get into the hall and what's he called? I can't remember his name, but the guy doing all the main speech.
Oh yeah.
Commodore
Colonel Autumn or something? No, that might be from a different game altogether.
Commodore Dolph. I can't remember.
Either way.
But you've got all the cadets and the switching from projector, looking left and right, and you can go to the back and you can switch it to different screens, and eventually it cuts off and they all stare at you. Or if you hit one of them, they all fall over, like in the skittle effect.
Yeah.
Or if the fact that if you sneak up over the top, you can look down, you can see Ocelot hiding behind Metal Gear.
Yeah.
You can get a picture. It's stupid stuff like that. It's insane. And then when you're playing as Raiden, the fact you can get different coloured wigs to do different things, I think is quite good. If you listen to, I think when you talk to Snake and he tells you the speech about the cardboard box, if you run out really fast, you can see him in the box running across his foot, and you can shoot him. Shooting the seagulls.
Yeah.
When you dress up as one of the guards and you're trying to find when you're in the hostages, you can slap them on their heads and they wet themselves. What ridiculous things.
Yeah, see, I don't think you'll ever have stories like that back.
Can I just say though that the weirdest thing I've seen from MGS V is basically, you know how you've got the new buddy system, and the first buddy you get is D-Horse.
Yeah.
And obviously you know that you get the dog and from the trailers, and you get Quiet the Sniper from the trailers.
Yeah.
But basically, they all have like this isn't spoilers in any way, but they all have like an affection rating. Basically, the higher their affection gets to you, and I think it's mainly like when you use them on missions and stuff, and the more commands you give them, you know, the more friendly they are to you. But eventually, for D-Horse, you can unlock a new command, which basically makes it poop. Right. Not lying. And the weirdest thing I've seen so far was a GIF on Reddit where somebody positioned Snake behind D-Horse and made him lay on his back, and then commanded the horse to poop. So it was pooping on Snake's chest.
There's some strange things in that game.
There is.
The whole Peace Walker, you got to go meet Paz, you need to pick something to take with you. What's going on there?
What you mean when you get in the love box with her?
Yeah, well, she's supposed to be like 15 or something.
Yes, she is. And Snake's like
40-year-old man. It's
the weirdest thing is you can go on a date with Kaz.
There's some strange things that they do.
But I guess this goes on to something that we've been wanting to discuss today after reading that news article about Konami only making PES games from now on. And
I really don't think that's true. It'd be the most ridiculous business decision ever if that was true.
But the thing is, though, Rod, the current president of Konami has no interest in it. He doesn't even understand video games. He's got no interest. To them, their main focus now is the pachinko machines.
Mm-hmm.
And all I'm thinking now is, unless somebody else buys the rights to Metal Gear, we're probably never gonna.
Is PES annually?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's probably got. PES is worldwide successful. It's a sports game, isn't it? And that's out every year or every. I can say,
because let's be honest with you, sports games, there's rarely any differences between each iteration. I mean, fair enough, they might improve the physics and stuff, but it's usually running off the same engine, so there's very little development needs to go into it. And like Dan said, because they churn them out on a yearly basis, it just goes to show you that it's like whereas Metal Gear takes about 4 to 5 years to go from an idea to a concept to a fully fledged game.
Yeah.
You know, that's going to cost millions upon millions to develop, whereas PES you can probably just chuck a couple of million at it. And
when you think that Kojima built the Fox engine purely to run, that's going to take time and resources in itself.
Yeah.
And if you think, I mean, Peace Walker obviously came out, but if you look at I'm sure the sales reflect that Peace Walker as a handheld is much less than MGS4 was. If MGS4 was 2008 and then MGS5 is now 2015, that's a lot of money gone down for a long wait.
I guess
to get to that point.
I guess so, but
do you reckon that PES, or what we call it, Pro Evolution Soccer, makes more money than Metal Gear?
If they can churn it over on a yearly basis and they already have it all pre-built and pre-engined, and they've already got that audience, I mean that more, maybe not a casual audience, but they clearly do. It works, doesn't it?
I mean, if you think about like how successful FIFA is, I mean, it's like I've got some friends on my PSN friends list who literally just play FIFA and Call of Duty. That's the only two franchises they play. So yeah, I've got no doubt that PES is going to be making them a decent amount of money. And like Dan said, they don't have to put that many resources into developing it. So
I'm fairly sure Kojima couldn't and wouldn't turn over a Metal Gear game in a year. He'd want to put a lot more into that than it'd have to be the next. Well, he doesn't even want it to be the next thing, is it? He wants it to be the very best product that's out at that time.
Yeah, but you see, that's why. I guess in some ways I can see it. It might be frustrating from a business standpoint, the fact that you're having to develop so much capital into this product.
Yeah.
But then it's also one of the reasons why I respect Kojima as a game developer, because he's always trying to basically push Metal Gear to sort of the next sort of level as to what it was. It's like you said, he doesn't want it to be the same experience. He wants it to be new each time. And that's the only thing. It's like they did say that they was going to carry on with Metal Gear and develop Silent Hill games and stuff, but I mean, you say that you don't believe the story, Rod, but there's been quite a few sources who've confirmed that this is actually happening.
All they've said is that the only AAA game is going to be PES.
Yeah.
That means that they can make lots of games in the Metal Gear universe,
but they're not
just be of a smaller.
Yeah, they're not.
Scale.
It's probably going to be mobile games, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Because that's what they said that their focus now is. It's going to be their pachinko machines, which, don't get me wrong, probably make them quite a lot of money, but it's like, because Konami used to they published and created the Castlevania series, but then they let the creator of Castlevania go because they basically told him, there's no market for this game anymore, nobody's going to buy it, so we're not going to bother funding it. So then he went off and started his own Kickstarter campaign for Bloodstained Ritual of the Night, which has ended up being quite successful. And it goes to show you that there is still a market for it, because people are willing to give the guy money to make it.
Yeah.
I mean, the best thing is about that one, he already did have like a partnership company, and they said that they will match. I think they said they'll match whatever he raises on Kickstarter to fully develop the game. And it's kind of like, I like that idea.
Yeah.
But again, this whole thing that's happened with Konami and Kojima, God knows what's happened. Who knows? I don't know.
If the lead designer on the Fox engines left?
Yeah, he said that he's left the company now. So it's like Konami's a sinking ship. They're not going to do video games. Apart from PES. Yeah. Which, to be honest with you,
they're a sinking ship as far as a AAA publisher is concerned.
Yeah, and
hopefully someone will buy Metal Gear.
I think they'll hang on to that.
I think they will. Or if they do want to sell it, they'll ask for far too much money.
Yeah.
Somebody might approach them and say, "We want to buy the rights to Metal Gear from you," and then they'll probably say, "Well, we want $2 billion for it."
To be fair, maybe this gets Kojima back for all those years of trolling them, saying, "I'm never going to do another one." No, he has no choice. He never can.
Mm-hmm.
But then that also makes me think, well, if he can't touch Metal Gear,
what's he going to do?
What? Yeah, because I think there's going to be publishers or game studios in talks with him to bring him on board, or there'll be a publisher that says, "Hey, we will pay for you to have your own dev team, and we want you to exclusively make games for us." And I would be very interested to see what he comes up with. It could be Metal Gear-like.
I reckon they'd do something wildly different.
It won't surprise me. I mean, he did Zone of the Enders, which is he might go back to like the whole mech scene, or he might do like a Police Nauts kind of style game.
Yeah,
who knows? He's in some ways he's very unpredictable. He keeps his fans guessing. That's what I'll say.
Plus, you're saying that Konami pretty much said they'll never make another AAA game aside from PES. I'm wondering if that doesn't mean that they aren't going to loan their licenses out to different developers.
They might do.
Because Platinum made Rising, so all they need to do is say, "You're making a Metal Gear game," and then a different studio will
I suppose
do
that is true. They said that they specifically weren't going to make. So I suppose
they can still make money off of the Metal Gear license,
but just have somebody else develop it.
Will do it. Yeah.
Hopefully it won't become the Crash Bandicoot of a modern day.
But I mean, Kojima himself has said he wants Metal Gear Solid to be remade, and he isn't going to do it. He wants a different studio to do it.
Yeah.
So Konami can just follow on from that.
Wait, Metal Gear Solid or Metal Gear 1?
Metal Gear Solid he wanted to remake.
If it's as bad as the Metal Gear Rising, I don't want them to.
Well, they're not going to make Metal Gear Solid 1 remake like Metal Gear Rising.
Yeah, but I mean a different
no, all the like
development team or whatever made a different Metal Gear Solid game and it was crap. I mean, that's what I'm on about.
Well, all to do with the remake is just literally remake it in the new engine.
Yeah, they'll probably put different spins on it. I don't think they'll ever.
No, but it's kind of like the Final Fantasy VII remake. It's not going to be a straight remake because they've already gone on record saying we're trying new things with the combat system because they don't feel like turn-based combat will work very well in today's match, especially with the kind of visual quality they're going for these days. It's just going to be like, well, who wants a game that looks that gorgeous? And basically all you do is select options from an Excel spreadsheet. Yeah.
Well, what's the point of going back and remaking something and then doing it exactly the same, at least not trying to do something different with it?
Yeah. I just hope that they don't mess too much with the story. But anyway, that's a topic for another day.
Just to close it out, though, I will say Metal Gear Rising is actually quite good.
I've only played it.
It's very not good.
I think lots of people disagree with you on that.
It depends on what you're wanting it to be.
Which means what?
Well, what you're expecting to get out of it.
But then again, Rod, lots of people like Marmite and I just think they're strange.
I also think they're strange.
But yeah, Metal Gear Rising, that was like not very good. The gameplay was alright.
Yeah, its production level was poor in comparison to Metal Gear.
If they made Metal Gear Rising the way it was in the very first trailer they released of it, it would have been amazing, but they didn't, and it sucked. Basically, is what I think.
I do think Rising has got some of the best boss battles from MGS generally, well, from Metal Gear generally.
As long as it's better than Fat Man.
The problem is that there's just no
reason,
purpose, story development. The really cool characters, and you have to play it. I think you'll like it.
Rising is like, here's the boss, fight them.
Yeah,
you don't know who they are.
Is it almost kind of like the typical sort of anime sort of plot, like, hey, you're this guy, you're really super awesome, but here's like this other awesome guy, go fight him.
Sort of.
Is it like loads of over the top cutscenes and action and stuff?
sort of. It's Metal Gear, but it's very
actiony,
stripped back. It's not. I didn't even realize that you could do codec calls in it till quite a way in the game. It's very cheesy and it's crappy and it's got a good soundtrack. It's a very different. It's a very Platinum Games soundtrack. It's a Japanese soundtrack. You know,
that's not always a bad thing though.
No, it suits the fast-paced action. But it doesn't suit the. It's not emotional, but that kind of atmosphere that Metal Gear has. Action-wise, it's good, and it really does suit it. But then otherwise, you just have to play it. I think it's really good. I'd recommend it to you.
So, do you think that they will make a Metal Gear Solid 6, or will we just go to a different team and say, here, make a spin-off of this?
I think, well, they might, to be fair, if Kojima's out of it, they might just remake it if that's what everyone wants. There's money in that. A different team can do it. It's a complete different take. And then just see where that goes.
If they do, I hope we listen to everybody's negative points about the fifth one.
Well, they're not going to make a remake of MGS 1 like MGS 5 where it's all going to be mission based. It still has to follow the same formula as MGS 1.
If they did that, it'd make the fifth one look like crap.
The thing is, I don't know if I know that much about game development, but MGS 5 seems quite a big, complex, complicated system.
Yeah.
I don't think a developer would even touch that.
No.
I think they would just strip it all away and just be like, story, and then this is happening. I don't think they'd try and build what Kojima's built. I don't think they'd even bother. Unless they can literally just lift it and just work on top of it.
Maybe.
But I think they'd probably... I don't know what they'd do. If they're going to remake Metal Gear Solid, then it clearly won't be open world.
No.
You might be able to approach it from different perspectives.
Oh yeah, I reckon they'd make the environments a little bit bigger.
Yeah.
But that's about it.
Yeah, but you definitely have your...
Sort on radar.
Yeah. No, we'll leave it there. That's probably a good place to start a Metal Gear's talk.